Okay, this is a little sidebar to Module 5, The Lord of the Flies, regarding the state of nature. I had you read John Locke's chapter on the state of nature, and I didn't know how much of that you knew about prior to this, but I thought I would just take a few minutes to explain a little bit about what the state of nature is. This is a principle undergirding idea of the modern liberal state, liberal idea, beginning with John Locke. I mean, it was not his idea, but it's his idea of the state of nature that has kind of formed modern American political thought, at least with the founders. So this idea, you're going to find that it's contrasted in a big way with what Aristotle is going to say later when he claims that man is by nature a political animal. Locke intends specifically to contradict Aristotle on this idea of the state of nature, because whereas Aristotle and the Bible understand that the fundamental unit of society is the family, the conjugal unit of man and wife, and the family that follows, Locke, as you've seen, if you've read his chapter, starts with the individual. There's no mention of families here. These are rational, industrious individuals in the state of nature. Now, what he means by the state of nature is a pre-political state, a condition that precedes the intelligence of men to gather together in a political way and to order their affairs in a certain way. So it's kind of an anarchistic kind of a situation where each person fends for himself and rationally concludes what is his best move vis-a-vis these others who are also similarly situated in a state of nature. But there is no government, there's no authority. Every man is his own authority. Okay, so this is his kind of speculative starting position, what's called a rational reconstruction. Kind of like if you had a telescope and you could look back in time and to the point prior to when there was any kind of political organization at all, and what you would see if that were the case would be the state of nature. So that's what Locke depicts in that chapter on the state of nature. Now this is also what Golding is kind of has in mind with his book The Lord of the Flies, with these boys who find themselves marooned on a tropical island with no authority. They are instantly put back into a state of nature, in a sense that Locke had in mind. There's no preordained authority. It all has to be worked out by them. Now, this period of time where men are without political bonds is very short, as it turns out, in Locke's account of this, because obviously it can't go on. If you think about it, a state of nature like this would quickly devolve into the rule of the strongest. There would there would be roving gangs seeking to take advantage of the weak, and they would just take unto themselves all of the good things, all the food, anything that was worth taking they would take, and the weak would have to submit to the strong. And so closely aligned with the state of nature idea is the idea of the social contract. And what that contract is an agreement among these weaker people who are not criminals and gangsters, who want to be protected, and they realize that they alone cannot stand against these strong brigands. And so they agree to come together for their own safety. And they agree, in Locke's account, to give up certain rights that they had in the state of nature to govern themselves in order to form some kind of a political bond, a government. And so that is the essence of the state of, or the social contract, arising out of this supposed original position of the state of nature. And that is how John Locke grounds his liberal theory of government, which is the one that is taken over by our founders. So that is the original idea. All right. So, but as Golding portrays in The Lord of the Flies, this is a very perilous state to begin with, and it's a kind of The Lord of the Flies is a kind of look back at what the political childhood of mankind must have been like, and it must be said, the kind of chaos and tyranny that always threatens. We can always fall back into that if we lose the sanctity and the strength of our political institutions. That is the sort of thing that lies as a possibility. So that's one thing you should be keeping in mind as you read The Lord of the Flies. I want you to keep in mind this idea of the state of nature, which is crucial to that book, but it's also absolutely fundamental to the American founding. All of our founders understood Locke completely on this, and America was in fact considered a kind of state of nature where Americans were free to establish their own political order from the ground up. And so that is a large part of the American self-understanding politically. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the novel, and keep Locke in mind as you read it. All right?